Daddy long that guy. And shout out to Red Light Crew.
Hey, you're one of 12 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
Yeah, you know what? To define that better, I think the key there is... I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, that was never going to get old to me. No. That is never going to get old. Real Life Podcast. What's the day today, Bag Milk?
Today is Wednesday, May 22nd.
What year is it?
2019 Earth years.
Oh, is that what you believe?
As far as I know.
All right, Real Life. You got your boys here. You got the Squire. You got Bag Milk. You got your old pal Wanye from the Navy. Our producer is here. Tyler Yaremchuk of Internet and TSN fame. Joining the show. This is his first time running everything. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I don't know about internet fame. I think I might have like the least amount of Twitter followers here.
Well, I don't listen to AM radio because I don't drive a truck for a living. And I knew you from the internet.
Well,
and I knew
you could
you'd
always
be good from the internet.
You could listen to the radio on the iHeartRadio player.
Oh, nobody does
Yeah,
that.
no one does
that's
that.
That's how Chorus and Bell staff
That's the only way you can get the podcast.
Oh, you're right. I wouldn't listen to this either for the record, and luckily 11 people agree with me.
12.
12 now.
12
well,
confirmed.
I don't want to tell you about the 12th person. It's very sad. They don't
It's
listen
too personal.
anymore. Yeah, they don't listen anymore. What's going on, boys? I'll tell you what I think's going on. Change is what's going on. I think the Oilers have actually started to make a motherfucking change.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the right heads are starting to roll.
Though you did say yesterday you were up for celebratory beers.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like
Of course.
the culture change is on.
I think it's hilarious that Oilers fans are like, we need to see massive change on and off the ice before we're willing to buy in. We fired the usher from section 116. Well, I'm back in. That's the kind of change I'm looking for. I was talking to our boy Carey. He's like, I'm excited. There's 2 more firings they make. I'll be back on the bandwagon. I'm like, come on.
Really?
Yeah. But,
Oh wow.
I think he's just riding high.
Yeah, he could.
riding high.
He's a true fan.
So what are the moves that have been made, Bag Milk? What have we seen happen of this week?
Well, last week we saw Craig MacTavish move on to the KHL.
Let's analyze this.
Yeah, that one is interesting to me. Why the hell does he need to go to Russia to coach?
He's a fan of rubles.
Life experience.
Like he's getting paid in cash money?
Max T's interesting guy, right? He did his MBA.
Yeah.
He's gone into the Canucks system. He's been with the Oilers for 300 years.
But like Russia is like the most uncomfortable league to go and coach. Like that's like the coaching graveyard. That's where you go to try to just squeeze out that extra nickel out of your career. I don't think he needs to, like why just go in the AHL? Like that's a more comfortable league than going to.
Well, it's not for money.
Well,
It's not.
It could be for money.
Yeah.
You think?
I think that might be one of the driving factors. Is he just for 2 years? If they're paying him $1 million a season, whereas in the AHL you were making $150K,
Yeah.
he might have just gone, okay, 2 more years, grind it out over there, make some coin, and then retire.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's tax-free dollars too. But I'm just like, does he need the money? Like Daryl Cates has been just shoveling cash his way for years and years and years.
When I was reaching the end of my pornography career, Bag Milk, I went and did that stint in Russia, remember?
Of course,
And
yeah.
I was gone and I'm making all those Russian pornos.
I do.
They pay you cash.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
Well, the video quality is shit.
Wow, that's the whole problem.
Yeah, the
right?
exchange rate on the rubles too can
Like,
be
there's
tough.
no comeback.
No. The editing is in post-production in Russian porno is horrible.
Everything looks wrong.
Oh, yeah. You're on the other side of the bed because you're in Russia. You know how it all.
There's always a bear in the background for some reason.
Every porno has to be approved by Putin himself.
Of course.
That's never good.
He directs most of them, I've heard.
Stars.
We should actually talk about that later on when he bailed.
Oh God!
Eight
Who died?
goals, hey?
Who died?
There's like a sniper in the media center up top in the arena, and it's like, if he doesn't score back top cheddar, you're getting shot.
But you didn't see him do his celebratory lap after?
But that's when he bailed.
Yeah. The rug guy's no
Murdered.
longer. He's the dead guy now.
I'm going to go ahead and give some props to the people that the acting on the opposition. Really nice. Really fantastic.
Putin
The defenseman that would kind of look the other way or...
Putin learned to skate at 62.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's
He
incredible
learned-
he's scoring 8 goals now.
Now, according to Putin learned at 62. This is also like somebody in North Korea being like, Kim Jong-un is an amazing golfer. There's one golf course in North Korea, Yaremchuk, and they say that there's a framed scorecard in the clubhouse of a hole-in-one in every single hole, and Kim Jong-un got 18.
Kim Jong-il. was his dad. Yeah.
Kim Jong-il got 18.
Yeah.
I mean, Putin scoring 8 goals in a charity game isn't far off.
So if he learned to skate at 62, he is now a 66-year-old man. He's only got 4 years
Yeah.
of experience on the blades.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
Then, like, as much as everyone was making it easy on him, he was getting around okay. That doesn't look like a guy who only started
around.
skating
But
for
he's an interesting dude
Yeah.
because like he taught himself to play the piano in his late 50s.
Is this him telling you that he's done this?
Well, he's like a Zuckerberg in the sense that, you know how Zuckerberg like publishes what he wants to work on for the year, and one year he learned Cantonese, one year he read a book a week, and he like shares that kind of stuff. This isn't quite like that much transparency, but like Putin went and learned to play the piano and then performed on stage in front of a big crowd.
Was the piano playing itself?
Nope, it's crappy, and he's there and he sings. It's like a national folk anthem or something.
Yeah.
But he went and did it, and then I think he was like a competitive swimmer or something, and he did a bunch of swimming laps for the cameras. Then he went and did this.
Any chance he can be shirtless?
I was going to say, did he play the piano with tarps off?
One of the things Russian people want more than anything from their leader is for them to appear like virile and healthy. I saw this documentary, I think it was on Netflix, about Kremlin pills. And there was like special pills they gave to like party members in the 60s and 70s when the life expectancy in Russia for a male is like 55, 56. These guys like Brezhnev were living into their 80s, and it's because of these Kremlin pills.
The Russian gas.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that means, but yes. So Putin appearing healthy has like been the play of the person in charge of Russia since the Tsar's times. And when he took over from Yeltsin, remember Yeltsin was like big and puffy and fucking drunk at
always
work and
dying?
shit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then so Putin's really trying to do a good job of like, don't blame being old for me sucking shit if you don't like me on an issue. Because look at me, I just fought a bear.
And scored 8 goals.
And then fell down.
Prolific career, honestly. Like I said, the acting, though, when he's coming in, defenseman just does a clear 180, goes the other way. Props to the goalie, too, for making it look like there was actually some kind of effort going on there.
Yeah,
I liked
it
it.
did look like an attempted save.
What you were looking at, boys, is real power.
Yeah.
Putin didn't have to tell those D-men to let him go wide. They did on their own accord.
Now-
And if you ask the goalie if he thought he was going to score a 5-hole, he'll tell you he didn't think he had the shot.
The real question is how much of an egomaniac is Putin? Did he actually think he performed well?
No.
You actually think he... Okay.
I think that Putin...
Because isn't that more embarrassing if everyone just lays down for you?
That's what I want to know, because I like... If that's how you skate and play, there's no way you can actually believe you're good.
I don't think he cares. It's a show. It's showing power, right?
I wonder how many chances he got stopped on.
Oh,
That's a good
a
question.
lot of dead
Like,
goalies.
like were there a couple? No, were there like a couple times he went down the ice and like, all right, we got to make this a little believable, and like swatted the puck off his stick.
They said that when he was doing a fishing exhibition a few years ago in a stream, that there were Russian Navy divers in the river with fish, and he would cast, and they would put the fish on the line.
I
and then he
saw
would
a
reel them
video
in.
about that, but I think that was mocking that event.
But I think it was like they made a video mocking it, but they actually believe that to be true.
Yeah.
Like nothing's up for display. Like if you're that type of person that requires that amount of power in your day-to-day job, I don't think that you like sit in the dressing room beforehand and go like, well, I hope the other team lays down for me tonight. I think they're just like, oh shit, we have to play Putin. We better lay down tonight. But I don't think he goes home being like, I'm the man. I think he goes home and he's like, now I got to order a missile strike.
All I know is I'd love to be on his line. Pad the
yeah.
stats.
Oh, jeez.
Stats looking real good
You'll
after
have
an
0
8-point
goals, but you'll have all the apples in the world.
That's
No
what
one
I'm
wants
saying,
to
man.
sit on the bench near him too, hey?
Yeah, Putin's your trigger man. Well,
Yep.
if you do want to win, just put Putin on your team.
Yeah.
And you
See?
spotted 8.
See? And that's why he does it, because now people go to G20 meetings and they're like, if I want to win, I need Putin on my team. Yes, I am the Prime Minister of India. Yes, I will do a trade accord with you.
When I worked at ATB in a formal life,
You've lived multiple lives?
yes,
Congratulations.
and they had a ATB hockey team and ATB hockey tournaments. Well, on my team was like the second in charge of the company, and he was like 60. And he's on my line. And I'm a defenseman, but I'm playing up because I want to be on this guy. He's my Putin.
Yeah.
And I'm just feeding this guy any goddamn chance I have. Because I got to make sure he gets 2 goals in a game. And because of that, I got his card, had a direct line. Anytime I, had a question or, I wanted to change my path, I had someone to talk to who could make a call.
That goalie that he scored 8 goals on, he just was gifted an aircraft carrier. Yeah. An aircraft carrier in the Pacific Fleet, yeah.
I bet he got the Poots card for that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you know about the Putin card?
No.
Vladimir Putin has, rumor has it, mostly affirmed,
Yeah.
a special credit card for high-profile Russian athletes, specifically hockey players, because Putin loves hockey.
Yeah.
And he just says, go wild on it. run it up as high as you want.
Yeah.
Like
Like-
Ovi has one.
Like it just gets taken care of.
Like, hey, Semyon Varlamov, you take this and whatever you need in Colorado is on me.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if he qualifies.
But yeah, he's a big Putin supporter, though. I know that.
Oh,
There's been
fair
lots
enough.
of pictures of like Varlamov rocking.
Then yes, he has
Okay.
a Putin
gear.
card.
Then yes, he
like
has
when
the Putin
Ovechkin
card.
took the photo on Instagram of him voting.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
No.
It's like him in a hotel suite putting his vote in like a suggestion box.
Yeah.
It's like a vote for Vladimir, a vote for power. Amazing.
This started because of Mac T, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how'd Mac T doing? Yeah, he's all right. Hey, he's in Russia. Who else is going
That was a
somewhere?
crezy tangent.
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
a
before
show.
we move
Welcome
on
to
to
real life.
Welcome to real life. Never stays on the
My
rails.
debut, so yeah, I guess I'm getting thrown right to the wolves here.
Yeah.
Before we move on from Mac T, I'm curious, do you think when Holland came to town that Mac T saw the writing on the wall and he was looking for another opportunity? Or do you think this was kind of he's run his course with the Oilers and it was time for a new something?
Yeah. He obviously must have known the writing was because you just don't like get a job. Well, it's Russia. Maybe you do get a job that fast. But like that was pretty quick.
I think Mac T got out in front of the purge.
Yeah.
Well, because he did the same thing when he stepped down as a coach in 2009 or whatever it was.
What?
Remember, there was no Mac T didn't get fired as head coach. It was like a mutual parting of ways. So he seems to know when to make his exit.
Yeah.
No, I think he's told when to make his exit. I think
Yeah.
I don't think it was a thing where he walked in and was like, "Ooh, Kenny Holland's here. I might be getting canned. I'm out of here." He was fired, and I've heard that from a source who would really, really know MacTavish.
Now just hold
like
your
a,
fucking horses. Did the new guy have
Do we
sources?
have a legitimate
Whoa.
person here?
I don't want
Rolodex.
to say who it is, but like
Sir.
Well, no, we don't need to disclose
conversation
anything.
with conversation with a former player of that era, and it was the talk 2 days before yet was Mac T got fired.
and was just given a chance to create a different narrative.
Similar to his coaching stint as well, I would assume. It's like he's an Oiler through and through, right? The playing days, the coaching days, the managing days. I think there is a lot of like respect for him in the organization.
For sure.
I always respect him for 06.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Always.
a great coach.
Right? So I think in both these instances, it was like hey, we're going to go a different direction here. How do you want this to play out?
Oh,
and
so
it's
the quickest find was Russia. That was the first. Okay, this
I
makes
wonder
sense
if
now.
Nicholson lined it up with Putin. Remember when they talked at the Olympics?
Oh yeah.
Nicholson talked to Putin for like a minute, man.
I know.
If I met Bob Nicholson, God willing, I never will, I would say to him, "What did you talk to Vladimir Putin about for a minute at the Olympics?" My Bobby Nick's burger. God, dude. Yaremchuk, if you know shit about the Oilers, I'm going to need you to talk about everything you know. What else do you know? You know what Connor's packing in the old, you know what region? No?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's
no.
elite talent.
At least, yeah. Some
Elite talent.
Generational
Oh, yeah.
in all
nice.
facets.
That's what I thought.
And
Good,
fast.
good. Yeah.
God bless Connor.
Fast.
Nice.
Fast.
Who else got fucked up in the purge, Bag Milk?
Yesterday, VP of Player Personnel Duane Sutter, who was the head of pro scouting, was also let go. So if you look at the trades the Oilers have made over the last couple of years, that was an easy one for Ken Holland to take care of.
That was low hanging fruit.
The Brandon Mannings, the Alex Petrovics,
Chris
there's
Weidman.
Chris Weidman's
yes,
another
not
good
to
one.
Forget.
He'll be on the Ring of Fame one day.
What about Zykov?
Valentin Zykov.
Now-
Or is it
That was just a
Valentin
poll off
Zykov?
waivers.
That was a poll, but still.
Also,
should've
they
known.
moved on from 16-year communication man JJ Hebert.
You want to talk about low hanging fruit?
Pour one out for JJ.
yeah.
I will pour one in for JJ.
JJ. Let's end this on a classy note, but bye.
Yeah, that's all the airtime you get.
I think that those are all fine moves. I don't have any issue with Duane Sutter. I don't never seen hiding her hair of him at a press conference. Never even heard him do an interview.
Yeah.
JJ, whatever. Goodbye. I hope that the new person is 10 times nicer than you are.
I had someone DM me.
No, just hold on. People DM you stuff?
Jeez, we were
No,
fighting
this
above
was
our
just
weight
like a
class here.
fan Oilers Nation person. They DM
This
me
is like
they're
the first meeting with Stalin. Like when he came, he's like the junior analyst. And he sits down at the table.
He's
like,
now taking full control
yeah, he's
of
like
this
noting
podcast.
who's gonna die right away and shit.
Jeez,
Like, all right, all right.
I'm bowing down.
Yeah,
I bend
whatever.
the knee.
someone DM me and they were just like, "Oh, how stupid does this organization think their fans are? That they're gonna fall for them canning the PR guy and think that's actual change? Does he even matter?" And I never want you never want to see people like lose their jobs, although it is like a results driven business and all that. But like that position is a pretty high powered one in terms of like how the organization is viewed and all that. Like think about when that injury thing came out with Connor McDavid and they put out like the super vague tweet at like midnight. Like, that kind of stuff does actually matter. I don't think this is just like brush it under as, oh, they fired the PR guy. I think that does signal a certain level of change.
I think one of the major problems the Oilers have is their general unlikableness in the community.
Yeah.
Of
And I
course.
think that JJ, and we're not going to diss him, and it's sad that he got his job let go and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think that guy's been holding the Oilers brand back for a while now by being a dick.
I don't think he's doing it alone, though. I think there are other names
yeah,
in there.
no.
Oh, no.
There's
But like
more
he's our
than
contact
role.
point,
Yeah.
Dick Corporation. Right?
Well, all I
that's a
know
great way to
is
put it.
yesterday on Inside the Nation, Dusty his comment was hilarious. To paraphrase, it was something like, "You don't want to bury a guy on the day that he got fired, but the Oilers just got a lot more easy to deal with."
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, zing!
Good on it, Dusty.
Good stuff. But truthfully, because he's got kids and don't wish ill on anybody,
Yeah, of course, all the
I
best.
bet you dollars to donuts he'll go work at Hockey Canada.
I was just going to say, I bet you he almost already has another job at Hockey Canada, like starting Monday type thing.
And that's why we'll never get interviews from people in the Spengler Cup.
Maybe we'll go to Russia. Work for Locomotive.
Man, we should go to Russia and interview Mac T in Russia and be like, now that you're on the other side of the Iron Curtain, what you got to say for yourself, Ivan?
That would be dope. I'd love to go to
Hanging
Russia.
with Mac T in Russia? That would be an amazing show. I would watch that show.
Well,
Who
hey,
wouldn't?
as a guy who crushed beers with Mac T at the Heritage Classic,
Now just
did?
hold
nice
on.
guy.
There's a
Who the
photo
hell is
evidence.
on-
Just gonna drop that and then leave. See you guys.
You drank beers with Mac
Him
T?
and Bucky, remember? I was in an Oilers onesie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was you and Mandy's.
Oh, yeah, outside. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
you're drinking beers at Mac T. Your
Yeah.
Chuck's getting DMs from Gary Bettman.
Yeah.
Bag Milk, you got any special fucking talents you haven't told anybody about?
No,
Oh.
absolutely nothing. I'm
keep it
a
real.
horticulturalist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Botanist.
Go good.
Yeah.
I'm an aspiring apiary.
Oh, nice.
Thanks to Mr. Bag Milk.
Yeah, that's true. My dad is a beekeeper.
You have bees now?
No, I want to have bees.
Aspiring, I see.
Aspiring. But I am waiting for my dandelion honey.
Yes, my the old boy. I talked to him about it, and he's gonna hook you up.
All right.
He just needs a fresh batch.
Love a good
Dandelions?
Well, it's interesting because depending on where his fields are or his hives, he spreads them out all over kind of the region, and depending on what is planted in the field, he will have different flavors of honey.
Hey, new boss, your M Truck. Are you hearing about this garbage they're talking about in the podcast right now? Dandelion honey?
It's delicious.
All sorts of natural
When people
honeys
start
are probably
disappearing
delicious.
in your purge, just remember your old boy Wanye didn't want to talk about no
Hey,
dandelion
we're not
honey.
dicks, okay?
Hey, I didn't want to show up on the dandelion honey episode.
You know what? When it gets delivered here, we're gonna try it.
Oh, and you're gonna enjoy it.
I'd sooner eat earwax than
oh,
dandelion
Jesus.
honey.
How dare you?
You know that is a fucking out and out lie.
That I've eaten earwax?
No, that you would prefer earwax over delicious honey.
Well,
be
dandelion
fantastic.
honey.
Oh, jeez, come
You
on.
put that in a nice little brick coffee, even.
What?
Maybe in an Americano, a little
drink-
spoonful of honey.
You never had a dandelion latte?
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
This place just went full peak hipster. Holy mackerel. So then Dave Tippett, who we remember good stories about,
Yeah, heard good things.
is rumored, and according to old Bobby Mack, is the only candidate.
I've got the tweet here, Wanye, if you'd like.
I would love to hear it.
Just following up on this, my sense is that Dave Tippett is not only the leading candidate in Edmonton, but for the moment, the only candidate. Now that could change quickly if Holland and Tippett aren't on the same page in terms of contract, etc. But we'll know more in the next 48 hours.
So I love this.
Well, I don't like the term only candidate. That scares me. Like, I guess I need to know the context.
Well, they're narrowing it down.
It follows up on a Pierre LeBrun report that his original list had 12 names on it, but not all of them were interviewed.
Now just hold on. What don't you know? This guy's wired in.
I know, it's plugged in. Wow.
You're
Mackenzie
the
followed
architect of the Matrix. That guy. Have you seen the Matrix? Or are you
No,
too new?
I'm too young.
Oh, come on, man.
Holy
Come
shit,
on,
he's too young
man.
for the Matrix.
Oh, it's going to be a common theme.
Where's my swooning couch? Bag milk?
movies
Where'd they
and
move
things
it?
that happened before I was born?
What year were you born?
Before you were born.
97, same year as Connor.
Oh, no big deal. Weird flex, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll deal with it.
Bob McKenzie followed up with a second tweet that says the reason why Friday figures prominently into the timeline is that Edmonton GM Holland is devoting next week exclusively to NHL Draft Combine in Buffalo. So if the coaching hire isn't put to bed in the next 2 or 3 days, it will be delayed until after the Draft Combine the week of June 3rd.
Yeah. Don't rush this. If Tippett is the guy, then pick him. But don't pick him because right now he's the only option we have.
Now, remember the story that our pal told us about Tippett? Playing for Tippett?
Yeah.
And how he was just, he was a player's coach.
Yeah.
And he took the time to do one-on-ones with everybody on the team. And prior to training camp, as everybody came in, remember he saying he had one-on-ones with them to like set the tone for the
Great
year?
communicator.
Great communicator.
Defensive minded, told not heavy on the X's and O's.
And if I recall correctly, like he'd see players in the hallway, stop, how are you doing? Remember things about your personal life, like a player's coach.
Yep.
Right?
Which I think in this day and age is what is required.
Yep. Whereas a guy like Hitch, very well respected, high on the all-time list, he's from a little bit more of an OG era where you would give...
bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was used to players having smokes between periods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfiltered smokes. That's
Of
how
course.
old he is.
What are we talking about?
Hey, I'm going to need you to filter up them smokes. You're an athlete.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Put it right into my veins.
So where did Tippett coach at?
Dave Tippett, his last job was in Arizona.
Arizona. And he was there for a while, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah, and he was in Dallas, if I remember correctly.
He played for the Whalers, I believe.
Oh, yeah. He had a mustache back in the day.
Yeah.
Good duster.
I'll tell you one thing. Dave Tippett with a mustache is a sight to behold. And if he doesn't grow that mustache back, I'm going to be a little bit offended.
They could order him to grow the mustache
Well, we
back.
should petition for it.
So looking at his NHL career as a coach, he started as an assistant in Los Angeles. He moved on to be the head coach in Dallas and then in Phoenix/Arizona until 2016-17. And he is currently involved in some capacity with Seattle, though he could be coming to Edmonton as early as Friday.
Fascinating. Let's take a break. We'll be back after this Real Life Podcast.
Have you got holes to dig, earth to pack, and roads to build? Then you need to call Japa Machinery Group. Does your equipment need a service? You can't fix stupid, but here at Japa Machinery Group, we can fix everything else. With a full range of parts to keep your equipment running smoothly. Japa Machinery Group is a family-operated and Alberta-grown business. Here to help build a bigger and better Western Canada. Give us a call or visit us at japamachinery.com. Japa Machinery Group. Join the family.
Shout out to our friends at Japa.
Yeah.
Marin, we know you're listening. We know you want us to talk about you. More so than lovely Noopsy Brown's ad.
Oh, Marin said we got to talk about Japa stuff?
We need to talk about Japa stuff, Wanye, because she knows how we know machinery.
Right.
But what I want to talk about is we talk about culture a lot on this podcast. I'm looking at the Japa website right now, and do you know that they have very specifically listed what they are as a business? And I find that interesting.
And they're sharing that with the public?
And they share it with the
Oh,
public.
the
The reason I
audacity.
find that interesting is because when Bob Nicholson was asked about what the Oilers are all about, he kind of fumbled through it. Yet our friends at Japa will talk about that they are a family-owned business that is about hard work and integrity, taking pride in ownership, treating clients and employees with honesty and respect, and a willingness to take on challenges and investigate new ideas. Very specific. And I like it.
I went to Japa the other day, and my boy Russ Bray, who's a sales guy there.
Oh, great. Love Russ.
Stonecutter, men's league.
Stonecutter, yeah. Men's league champion.
Good man, down to his bones.
Yep.
Working at Japa. He was in the yard. He'd sold a piece of equipment, one of the J14 defibrillators or whatever the hell it is.
It's a fine
Giant
machine.
tires, the whole thing. And there he was on a Sunday cleaning it, getting it ready to ship on Monday morning. That's the kind of people Japa are. They're Sunday afternooners.
If you're not going to willing to work on Sunday afternoon, well, you're not going to be in the game like Japa.
Exactly.
That's all I know.
If the Oilers shared the same culture as Japa, we'd be in a completely different place right now.
How's Russ Bray in the room?
Oh, God. The best.
Talk about it. Why? How?
Russ is just a really nice guy. Like, that's the thing. And in the room, Russ is very like he takes care of the water. He's particular about his water bottles, but he takes care of the water bottles. He takes them home, washes them, so we have fresh new water bottles every game. And then, like I said, just a good guy. And then when he gets on the ice, fierce competitor.
Interesting.
And I guarantee he knows about the CV-123 as well.
And he works just as hard as the CV-123.
And the CP-44.
You can learn a lot, though, about somebody in the room or playing sport versus how they are in the business world.
Well,
too,
you can
right?
tell because the guy goes the extra mile on the ice.
Yeah.
Like, he does not give up, and he's always putting the effort. He really wants it, and he brings that hard work to everything he does.
I would actually go so far as to say I don't trust somebody who's never played some kind of organized sport or some kind of activity with a group.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I definitely hold that in high regard.
So you wouldn't trust Michael Chang, former tennis great, who for sure only played tennis?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. I would not support Michael Chang.
Do you remember Michael Chang?
I will respect Michael Chang because he tried to sneak the underhand serve in a U.S. Open match.
Oh, man.
You guys know your TELUS
Trust
stuff.
Michael
Or your
Chang as far
tennis.
as I can throw him. You say TELUS?
I did. I was thinking
man.
about a new phone today. That's
TELUS ain't paying. We ain't saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Wanye, you had something very near and dear to your heart come up today.
Oh, boy. Did I? Are we transitioning?
I think we should.
Jay?
This is big. This is real big.
Do you remember when I was like 18 how annoying I was about Natalie Portman?
and still to this day.
You don't hear about her much.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't hear about her
It's
much.
a little bit quieter, but it's still there.
The feelings never leave your heart.
Exactly.
So for context, how creepy was I over Natalie Portman back in the day?
Almost borderline illegally.
I was telling Bag Milk on my 19th birthday, my then girlfriend gave me a keychain with Natalie Portman in it. Remember?
Yeah.
She made it for me.
Yeah.
To get in my heart, she gave me something for Natalie Portman.
Yes.
I respect it. I wonder where she is now. Probably dead. Here's a headline on Delisted today, my favorite celebrity website. Natalie Portman says Moby lied about dating her, and he was actually an older man creeping on a teenager. So one of the reasons I fell out of love with Natalie Portman was I genuinely believed Moby dated her because they have that song Porcelain where he talks about dating her and how she broke his heart.
Yes.
And I was like, gross. I assume if I were to follow through on my love with Natalie Portman, we too would marry one day. And I couldn't handle having Moby's ghost in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It's not true. He
Wow.
says they dated. She says they did not date, and then threw shade at him, saying basically he was a creepy old man because she was 18 and he was 33.
To quote Natalie Portman, in fact, and shade is almost a little bit light.
My girl.
I was surprised to hear that he characterized a very short time that I knew him as dating, because my recollection is a much older man being creepy with me when I had just graduated high school. He said I was 20. I definitely was not. I was a teenager. I had just turned 18. There was no fact checking from him or his publisher, and it almost feels deliberate. That he used this story to sell his book is very disturbing to me when it wasn't the case. There are many factual errors and inventions. I would have liked him or his publisher to reach out and fact check.
Why now, Queen Amidala? Did he just come out with a book?
Why now, Queen Amidala? That's good.
Like, did he just come out with a book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But he talked about dating her like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Why not ousted then, or is it because she was young and like scared?
Well, it's because it's his book now, and this is his salacious news he can drop that will get delisted to pick up the fact he has a book.
Well, first of all, I'd be
Everything is
surprised.
wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. I'd be surprised that anybody would care about a Moby tell-all book.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck. Moby, you suck. Remember when Eminem destroyed him in the Without Me video?
Yeah.
That was
Buried
the
him.
best.
Body bag.
I was like, me, Natalie Portman, and Eminem, you're done, Moby. You got too many enemies.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody cares about 53-year-old Moby putting out a book.
A while ago, when Natalie went to Harvard, I did some sleuthing online, Bag Milk, and found out her student residence phone number. I was like 17. And
How would you?
I told you, borderline illegal.
oh yeah,
Wow.
borderline.
And you weren't 33 like Moby. at the time
Exactly.
either.
I was a young man. I myself was a minor. It's just creepy, not illegal at that point.
This was almost like Zuck getting in
endearing.
all the making that face smash website.
That's the one. Well, I knew her real last name. So that's where you started. And this was like
Which
her-
is
Well, I'll never say.
not
Never.
as beautiful as her face.
That's your other beef with her, though. Is that she
Just
banged
own
Moby.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Moby, and her last name is
Yeah.
Horschlag.
Horschlag, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but just own it.
But a lot of actors and actresses change their name.
Of course.
There's people
Charlie
with their
Sheen is
last-
Charlie Estevez.
Well, I know, and that's weird. There's no need.
There's no need. So yeah, I logged into very early internet at Harvard, and like there was an unmarked student directory if you just fished around, and then I typed it in. This is back when you had a phone in your residence, and I wrote it down and I carried it around in my pocket for like 2 weeks in grade 12. When I was at school and I was like, I hate it here, I'd look at Natalie Portman /Horslag's phone number and be like, I'm 9 digits away from a new life, you losers. And I put it back in my pocket, and I never called. That's the point, Bag Milk. I never committed the crime. I just had thought crime, and unless it's bloody Minority Report days, that ain't illegal.
You know who makes the call? Moby. Moby calls.
He would make the call, and then 18 years later be destroyed by... And then Natalie Portman married the guy from Black Swan, the choreographer, and then they moved to France. She got her Star Wars money. She doesn't have to play by our rules anymore.
That's true. She's on another planet.
She is on another planet.
Tatooine.
Well, so anyways, that's my good news. Natalie Portman and Moby was never a thing.
Great news.
Great news. I just need her to undo her 2 kids, rewind the clock 15 years, come through Edmonton, and then I'll shoot my shot.
Well, I'm going to talk about something I'm pumped about. Bringing it back to the Oilers is Leon's led German team in the World Championships.
He's rolling.
He is rolling.
He is rolling.
But like, is Germany actually now a legit hockey nation?
Tyler?
Well, I think
Yes,
now
please help me.
I think now that how should I word this? They're doing really well at the events that maybe aren't as star-studded as the Olympics, right? Or as when the Olympics in 2014, 2010, 2006, like this last Olympics, they were the great story, right? They wouldn't have given up a shorthanded goal to Russia late. They would have won the gold medal at that tournament. And this year, we're seeing Leon really kind of put that team on his back. I have a tough time saying this is like, oh, Leon is cranking it up to another level, because I don't think they're... I mean, how much more could he really crank it up?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But it's always fun to see the Oilers head over there and dominate. I mean, you'd rather have them still dominating in the NHL in May and June, but...
1,000%. And I would argue like the World Championships is a level above the Olympics as the past Olympics, because it's got NHLers in it. So it's good to see him carry the team, because they are playing high quality competition.
Yeah, they are. And I didn't want to knock on the tournament at all. But I think to answer your original question, we are kind of seeing Germany take a step forward as a nation. It'll be interesting to see, like, kind of like the NBA in Canada, right? Like Vince Carter came and there was that initial kind of ripple that was a little before my time. But now, like 15 years after the fact, you're starting to see the Jamal Murrays, Andrew Wiggins types. So I wonder if this rush here from Leon and all this international success will even, I know hockey is obviously very popular there, but will like crank it up another notch, and in like 10-15 years we're going to see this like crazy crop of like really talented German hockey players coming through.
Well, they've got the population, right? So if they just get the sport more popular, which I think Leon's is going to help in spades.
If the German people get their shit together and get behind something, man, you'd be shocked.
I know
how far they can
make some noise.
Your Remcheck's eyes are bugging out. I edited out everything after that 3-minute mark. I'm just kidding. You can leave it in. Okay.
Well, the thing about Leon, too, is it's been fun in this tournament. Some of the goals he scored are just ridiculous.
Unreal. Yeah. It looks like he's playing with children.
Just ridiculous. And also, to help the popularity of German hockey, he's also very handsome. Mm-hmm. That helps. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's on billboards everywhere. I remember when I was in the Philippines and it was kind of like Pacquiao's everywhere. I assume it's the same for Leon.
I became a ballet dancer because of Natalie Portman and Black Swan.
Of course.
I looked up to her then. I look up to her now. I think you're right, Remcheck, in the sense that like it's like American soccer. American soccer's coming on great guns now because kids are like, it's cool to play soccer.
Yeah,
David Beckham was in LA towards the end of his career. And like you mock those moves, but making something cool becomes aspirational. When it becomes aspirational, people go for it.
And the barrier to entry for soccer is nil.
Yeah. And you don't get conkies like football.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it takes time. It takes like a generation.
Yeah.
But it does have an effect.
Well, look at the American hockey program. As recently as 10 years ago, it sucked shit. And now I feel like they're basically number 2.
Well, this crop coming up here for the NHL draft, in the top 10 of most guys' lists, there's like 4 guys from that U.S. National Development Program.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, though, like, Greg, you got Hughes obviously at the top, but then Alex Turcotte, Trevor Zegras, Cole Caulfield, like, all those guys are going to go top 10 in the NHL draft. 40% of the top 10 could be from not just American-born players, but guys they're developing in that program with the U.S. National Development Team.
Now, talking draft and merging it with World Championships, are we Kakko or are we Hughes? Because Kakko is lighting it up.
I'm Hughes still.
Yeah.
I'm always like hesitant to like really talk about draft stuff because I don't watch these kids all throughout the year, but I try to read the guys who do watch these guys throughout the year, and a lot of them are still giving the edge to Hughes. It's just, his vision and stuff like that, even though he's a little bit smaller, and maybe that's why he couldn't dominate at the Worlds this year the way Kakko did. I'm hearing it still should be Hughes. He has that future number 1 franchise center mold to him.
Oh, he is a center, and Kakko's a winger.
Yeah, and Kakko just might have that high-end winger type of future potential.
God, I want Kakko so bad. I know.
Well, if the Oilers would have lost to the Flames,
nah, can't live like that though.
You can't.
Oh, there's another game this season we should have lost. We won't blame on that one. Got to always beat the Flames.
Sure, of course. And the thing we really missed out on is Capo Kakko is just fun to say.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Like I would have a Kakko jersey immediately,
of
5
course.
seconds after he's drafted.
It's too bad too because it would have been another layer of like Dusty from TSN Oilers Nation loves Finns, so he would have had to pick allegiance between Puljujarvi and Capo Kakko, which would have been really fun to watch.
We would have had to deal with the annoying storylines of like, ooh, well, Jesse Puljujarvi and Capo Kakko create like the Finnish connection, right? Like every free agent that's out there that's a Finn, Oilers fans love being like, they should bring him in as a mentor to Puljujarvi.
Yeah.
That's a good hot take. Yeah.
It is.
Oh,
It is kind of tiring, right?
No, but you're right. They're always like, they must be best friends. Remember when Jágr wanted to come back for Hemsky?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, Jágr, you're too old. And they played for 12 more years after that. It was solely based on the fact he was Czech.
Yeah, like guys are from the same country, and all Oilers fans, a lot of hockey fans in general, are just like, whoa, they must be like best freaking friends.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, Brizgalov totally can mentor Yakupov. Remember that?
Right.
Remember that, though?
Like, just because guys are from the same country or speak the same language doesn't mean they're going to be friends.
I'll tell you one thing those two are. They're from the same planet.
Yeah. Well, maybe Yak became Briz, too. Who knows? Fuck.
Good stuff.
Interesting take, Yaremchuk. I like how you're doing your business. You're a great addition to this show. How are we doing in commercials? Speaking of making money and being weird.
You got the timing down on the first one, right?
Yeah. How are we doing right now? How many fingers in the air? 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
I got a lot of shit I want to talk about 5 minutes.
Good.
How about the fact... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Okay. Who do you want to see come into the Oilers organization?
As a player,
So they're
or
on the executive side. So they're letting guys go. Is there anybody in the National Hockey League that, like, MacT's gone? Who's going to replace him? Is there anybody that you think, if I was going to be retooling this organization, this is a guy I'd want around? I want Hitch around. I'll start.
ooh, no.
I think as like a vice president or as somebody in the higher echelon, I think that he's not equipped necessarily for day-to-day conversation with players anymore. But I'm not necessarily sure what a lot of these VP of development bullshit guys do anyways. But I think as like a guy who has a history of winning and has high expectations, Hitchcock would be a good guy to have be around.
I think okay. Now that I've got the full context, that you've got my irrational response there.
Plus he's under contract for 2 more years.
Yeah, well,
he's gotta do something.
well, we love just paying people to do nothing, anyways. I think in a kind of like consultancy role, I want him to have no contact with the players, like not even visibly seen. But I do not disagree that he is a very talented mind. That there is some benefit to us, but just put him in the right place, insulate him.
Here's a place where I would use Hitch. Let's say Ken Holland comes in and he's like, in 5 years, I'm 67 years old, I'm done. I'm going to bring in my predecessor like Lamoriello did with Young Tits out there in Toronto.
Kyle Dubas.
That's the one. And I'm gonna train this guy for the next 5 years. Having Hitch mentor that guy in addition to having Ken Holland around, I think is like a good place for him.
As a coach?
No, it's just a mentor, right? Like how Brizgalov was with Yakupov.
Maybe. Well, but Hitch doesn't have any like GM.
No, but he's a scout. He knows talent. He can evaluate players. He's seen a lot in his time.
And he's seen the NHL at different phases as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish, and I can't think of a role of what it would be, but like Hitch was a master with the media, some kind of like public-y relations type something. I'm not saying he's JJ or anything like that, but like something where he's front facing and dealing with the media and talking to the people. Cause man, how many times were we watching a post-game interview with Hitchcock or something, and he just has people eating out of the palm of his hand?
Me, I had the biggest spoon.
Put him regularly on the Oilers broadcasts. Have Hitch go do hot stoves and stuff for the OEG charity organization.
That's such a good idea. He did an interview with Bob McCown the day Holland was hired, and it was kind of announced that Hitch was definitely not coming back as a coach. He did an interview with McCown, and he was asked like, "Oh, how stressful has this been not knowing about your job?" And he kind of said, like, not stressful at all. I just want what's best for the team. And he was very like, I want what's best for the team. I knew that after this year, I probably was not going to be the head coach anymore. But that doesn't mean I'm going to leave town. Like, I'm so committed
This is the kind
to
of guy you
helping
want
them
around.
win.
Yeah.
And he even talked about how, like, they asked him, like, oh, what are you going to tell Ken Holland about Edmonton? He's like, oh, I'm going to tell him that, like, people are going to say bad things. It's not as bad as you think it is. And he kind of opened up about how he didn't go out in the public very much when he was coaching here because he was worried about what people on the street would like yell and say to him. And he's like, that's on me. That's a knock on me, not on the city. Like, they're just passionate people. Like, all that. Like, he spoke
Classy
so
man.
highly of everything. And he was doing Toronto radio. So really, like, if he wanted to go on there and be like, oh yeah, like it was bad last year, and yeah, this organization's a long time away. But no, he was on there and he pumped up Nuge, Draisaitl, Nurse, McDavid. Those are the 4 he named. And it was like, those guys, I can see it in their eyes. They want to be leaders and like they want to help see this thing through. So I was kind of more of the mindset that he's old, get him out of here, his time has passed. But then when I heard that interview, I changed my tune because I think he does have like a really good hockey head on his shoulders.
You need to have an Avengers type desk. Everyone's sitting around talking about shit. And right now, it's all the old boys club exclusively.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And if you're going to start flicking guys, you got to have at minimum seat holders for the award show.
I would agree he deserves a seat at the table. I just like, because when you hear like he's lost the room with the players because he's his style.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sure.
But keep him. Sure. Like I don't disagree with his talents, and he is a bit of a wordsmith, isn't he? Because he can steer the narrative to where we want it to be.
I found some of those tasty quotes that Tyler was talking about from that interview, specifically about what comes next now that he knows he's not the coach. It says, when they made the decision that they're going to change both the general manager and the coach, I fully understood. But I want to work. I want to help. I want to work, and I want to do whatever I can to continue to help this team. I think I've got a lot to offer, especially on the player evaluation and pro player evaluation, and with free agents and other things like that. I know the league as well as anybody or any coach, and I want to help put this thing back on track and help Ken Holland make that happen. I'm a pretty hopeful guy, but I see this as a quicker turnaround than a lot of people think. I think this is more doable than anything because if you don't have the top end guys, you're searching and hunting, and you could be years away from finding those type of players. You get into bidding wars on guys who are free agents just to try and find them. Well, we already have them in place. We have them already. Again,
amen.
Jay, you're a businessman, right?
That is so right.
You're a businessman, right?
I alleged to be, yeah.
People who are very helpful to your mission are generally people who talk like that.
Yep.
Divas, people who are difficult to deal with in the beginning, people who make a bunch of demands, people who aren't that forthright with being like, I'm here to fucking help. People who say things like, there's a lot less positive stuff you could be spitting than that.
Oh.
If I'm Cates and I'm retooling my organization and the second or third winningest coach of all time,
third,
is under contract for 2 more years and talking like that about my program, and then I've got fucking Bobby Nick who can't even iterate what anything means, I'd keep Hitch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If there's any kind of front-facing job that somehow Hitchcock can be involved in, like just those quotes.
That's how Nicholson should be talking.
Yes.
Let's take a break. Real life podcast. Back after this.
Well, we don't take a break because now I'm going to talk to you about our friends at Indochino.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Upstairs, Jay, is a suit box.
Yes.
I just saw a video of yourself and young Christopher
Gross.
going into Indochino, getting measured up, getting your suits. Chris got the kangaroo inside, looking super flossy.
Flying.
They're ready already?
Yeah, mine's going to be on my front porch. I got a text this morning saying it's going to be there when I get home.
That's fast. How long ago was that suit made?
2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Tyler,
I need a new suit.
Oh, you missed it. Chris got it.
Well, I could still go to Indochino.
We sure
Are they out of stock? Did Chris take all of it?
Like with actual money?
Well, maybe he used all the material in the groin area, I believe, or it was I that got heavily measured.
you did get heavily measured on the inseam in the video.
I did insist because
I laughed when I saw the video.
I've got.
I was cupping.
I've got. Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets real.
Oh yeah.
I could have filed a complaint, but I knew it was part of the process. No, just kidding.
Because I also heard, asked for some added butt protection.
A reinforced butt because a guy likes to throw down at a wedding, and you need to know that your suit is willing to throw down with you.
So what you needed was a fine quality garment that's going to hold up when the flavor or the feeling to dance arises. Tyler, you said you needed a suit, and what you need to do is you need to head over to Indochino.com.
Okay.
You need to choose a style.
I'll do that.
You need to customize your suit with whatever you need. You need to get measured either in store or they provide tools to do it online.
Let's talk to
I
Indochino.
recommend going in store because it's a very boss experience.
Let's talk to Indochino. Let's hook up your M-Chuck. We got bamboozled by Chris in his sexy ways.
Oh, yes.
He's here. He got suited.
He's going to look fly.
Fuck.
And he's going to bounce.
We got to talk to you. Get your M-Chuck a suit. Fly guy.
Choose your style.
You have to wear it every day, though. Forget
That's
your
right.
suit.
Anytime we do video content, we have
Every
to wear
day you got to wear a
suits.
suit. You got to be that guy.
Or I just
Suit
think it would
guy.
look good to just walk around in a suit no matter where you're going.
Yeah.
Tell people you're a funeral home director.
Or just a very important businessman with very important business things to do.
Carry around a briefcase.
I wouldn't even tell people. If they tried to get my attention, I would just give them like the one finger up and pretend I'm on my phone.
Oh,
that's how
huge.
important I am. I can't even talk to you on the street in my Indochino suit.
Then you can wear it to Oilers games and people ask who you are. Tell them you're Lance Pitlick. They'll be so thrown. They won't. Lance Pitlick was the former senator, wasn't he?
Oh, Tyler Pitlick was a former Oiler.
I was going, well, never mind.
Lance, Tyler.
There's been 2 Pitlicks that have played in the NHL?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lance and Tyler, right?
Yeah, because
I just blurted out a name that popped into my head. Right?
I'm pretty sure Kevin Quinn used to call Tyler Pitlick Lance Pitlick accidentally.
He was a
all the
senator.
time.
Because I remember him from like NHL 95. He was terrible. He was a
NHL
defenseman.
95?
Yeah.
EA Sports?
Yeah.
Hell.
EA Sports. Yeah.
It's in the game, I've heard. Yeah. Speaking of in the game, Indochino's in the suit game.
Deece.
Head on over to Indochino.com, get yourself measured up, choose your suit, get measured up, and within 2 to 3 weeks, you are going to pull a fresh, wrinkle-free suit right out of the box. As Jay mentioned earlier, he's going to have that tasty suit sitting on his porch today. I assume you're going to do a little modeling when you get home. Try that baby on.
Oh, it's being worn. There's going to be some catwalk.
Lance Pitlick played for the Senators and the Panthers. Go to Indochino.
Indochino.com. Get yourself a suit. Get ready for wedding season. Get ready for your business meeting. Get ready to ignore people on the street like Tyler.
Exactly. Always be on your phone.
Tyler Pitlick is his nephew. Go to Indochino.
We should do a Pitlick round table on the show.
Oh.
Let's get both Pitlicks in here.
And then make them fight.
I'd like to see that.
Or kiss.
Yeah, or we could do, the 4 of us, some Pitlick trivia.
If you're going to ask me, did Lance go to Robbinsdale Cooper High? I'm going to say, yeah, he did.
We should get Coombe to do a Pitlick trivia against us, and we have to come prepared.
And not tell him if it's Lance or Tyler.
Yeah, just one of the Pitlicks.
Well, that'll be one of the fast rounds. It'll be
nice.
Lance or Tyler. You're going to buzz in. Lance, Tyler.
Coombs hard to trick.
Well, no, he's gonna be the quizmaster. We're just trying to trick us.
I thought we were all going to come up with Pitlick trivia.
No.
Hit him with it.
No. We got to go study deep dive in the Pitlick family.
Deep dive. How many goals did he have in the 89-90 season for the University of Minnesota? If you answered 3, you're correct.
Man, I was going to shoot high on that one.
Yeah, I was too.
I thought you were tricking me.
Yeah, I had 17, but then I forgot Lance is a defenseman.
The WCHA is not a high-scoring league
guessing.
in 89-90. It was a defensive battle.
Well, Tyler Pitlick got 8 goals with the Dallas Stars this year.
95-96, this motherfucker playing for the Senators, 1 goal, 6 assists. That's when I got him on EA Sports. I used to play as the Senators because I was so good as a tot that I had to play as the Senators to have any hope of being challenged. And Pitlick was my horse, but he was garbage.
It's like me when I play Monopoly on my iPad. I set it to the setting to very difficult.
Wow. You still pull out the odd one.
And I can just read these AI's minds.
I remember when we played iPad Monopoly going over the English Channel.
Yes.
And I regret it now because that was a very important thing to do in your life is to go across the English Channel. My only memories are playing iPad Monopoly on the ship.
Oh, it was really wavy though, so you couldn't even really enjoy it.
But think about like the troops landing at Normandy, right?
Oh,
and it's like even wavier. And
once we got close to the beaches, that's where I really kind of zoned in and like channeled my like just World War I and 2 vibes.
Yeah, not me. I was like, I got to get Ventnor Place or whatever the hell it is, or I'm never going to have my hotel. God damn it. You ever find yourself doing that, Bag Milk? You're like somewhere that you really should be paying attention, and your memory is like playing Toy Blast on your phone.
I was literally thinking right now of when I used to play Monopoly on my PlayStation. Yeah, I'm not very good.
No?
I make some bad deals.
Oh,
well, I won't be playing with Jay. He will bamboozle me.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And in real life Monopoly, he like tries to get off the board deals going with you, and I always fall for them. He's like, look, if you sell me that property, I swear 5 times I'll land on your shit. You don't have to pay me. Or you land on my stuff, you don't have to pay me. I'm like, okay. Roll, land. Yeah, you got to pay me. You can't do side deals. I'm like, but you offered it to me.
Crazy.
Computer takes all that out of play.
It happens.
Yeah, it's more than a board game.
How many goals did Lance Pitlick have in 001 for the Florida Panthers in the 68 games he played?
3.
1.
One.
I do. I'm ready.
Yeah.
68 games, though. That's
Pitlick trivia.
Yeah.
New feature. Right here. Real Life Podcast.
Big stuff. Mm-hmm. Ooh, his wife Lisa was an athlete.
Now we're reaching. What do you got?
I'll tell you what I got. These motherfucking bones over here, which I'll put up on our Instagram account at Nation Real Life.
Yes, we have bones.
Your M-Check walks in today. There's bones waiting on the table for him.
Where I usually have all the podcast gear, there's just bones.
A box of bones.
He wanders upstairs. He's like, So I'm getting ready to set up the podcast, and there's a box of bones on the table.
So yesterday we get a text. We've got the new building going. This counts as a building update. Chalmers, were he here, he would be thrilled to his socks.
I've got an update on Chalmers too, but we'll talk about that after the building update.
Well, tell me first. What's Chalmers doing?
Oh, we've got news.
We've got some
news
dirt, and I want
Oh.
to hope somehow in the vast 12-person audience of the Nation Real Life podcast that this can get back to his wife.
Yes, this is shenanigans.
I know what he did.
Chalmers.
Is it Red Bull related?
Chalmers had 2 Red Bulls.
2.
When?
Last week? Or
Last
earlier this
week.
Here?
Nope, not here.
He was in need of a boost, and he had 2 Red Bulls, and then hid the evidence from his wife.
He drank 2.
2
Red Bulls. And my favorite part was
greedy.
that he got home with the can in his truck, and he said, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
He turned around and went to a Husky or whatever, ditched the can at the gas station, then made his way back home so that Mrs. Chalmers would not know about it.
That's how severe his addiction was, and how severe his pact to his wife was that he would never drink them again.
She does not know.
I feel bad. We shouldn't throw under the bus.
No.
He brought it up.
We brought it up, and
You
so
say we can talk about it in the show, though?
Well, he didn't say that we couldn't.
Well,
so,
bro code, though.
No.
I've been covering for Christopher Keith Chalmers since we were 18.
No. I told him I was going to rat him out.
Oh, yeah.
I just did not listen what his response was.
Yeah, full disclosure.
Please don't tell me my marriage hangs
so
in
the
the balance.
challenge is, I want this to get back to @AaronChalmers on social media.
Okay, so she's the anchor lady on
Global.
Or
maybe call into the morning
news
show.
brief.
Oh, yeah, do a news brief.
Insta, Twitter, hit her up.
Yeah,
Snitch
hit her
on
up.
Chalmers. It
Snitch
takes a
on Chalmers.
village to break an addiction.
Chalmers is sneaking around with Red Bulls again.
He's sneaking Red Bulls.
To me, this is important, not the snitching part. We're caring about Chalmers' health.
We're trying to help him.
Yeah. He said he was getting off the Red Bull train, and we need to help him stay off.
It's like the one time I had a buddy who, you can like you can ban yourself from a casino.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a buddy who banned himself, like put himself on the list because he had a bit of a problem, and
Then tried to talk his way in.
and then like whatever, like 2 months later, I see him at the casino. I'm like, hey man, how you doing? Just kind of like, I'm like, hey, I have to go take a piss, and then I ratted him out. So they had to remove him from the casino.
Good job.
Just because I'm like, I did. Well, because like if he went as so far as to take the step to do that, so I wanted to be supportive, and then I got a text like an hour later, be like, you fucker.
Do you have anything on your banned list? I banned myself from drinking Kraken,
Oh,
The rum?
the rum. Last time I had a big night on the Kraken, fell in the tub kind of thing. It was a whole
it was
deal.
a black mess.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
It was a real mess. So Kraken is on the no-fly zone.
Jägermeister for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It is some kind of chemical reaction or something. I get the worst. It doesn't matter if I have a shot, like one vodka Red Bull, or well, it doesn't even have Jaeger. Jaeger Red Bull, whatever the hell. The next
Jaeger
day,
bomb?
A Jaeger bomb. The next day, I may as well have drank 5,000 drinks. It's the worst hangover.
I'm too young. I don't have anything. I don't have any regrets.
Doing it again.
I haven't made mistakes.
Gonna fucking die young if you keep talking like that too. I'll tell you what. They're gonna, why do the good die so young? Because he talked some shit on real life and got snuffed out.
Wanye was on your no-fly zone.
Well, just Jaeger bombs. I remember one time walking into the Pint, and I don't even remember what was going on, but they had a table keg Jaeger bomb going, which is illegal, and so this happened 12 years ago. And if you're listening from the ALGC, there are much worse bars to go after. But walking in and being like, why is there a table keg Jaeger bomb? And Rick being like, it's my buddy's uncle's dentist's birthday. Hit it as much as you want. And I literally stood there for a while. I think it was with Sambo. And just smashed Jaeger bombs. I'd never drank them in any volume like that.
Yeah, it's not good.
It is not good.
But there's people I know that like will just crush it and they're fine. Like I can't even have an ounce of it, and I'm fucking dying the next day.
I don't drink rye.
Why?
Because I got squirrely on it twice. And my younger sister, who has been known to throw the odd life intervention my way when I'm getting too far off the rails. It was after, I think it was game 3 of the 06 Cup run when the Oilers were playing the Sharks, and we went down 2-1. And I got my sister in a headlock and gave her a noogie. And like, that don't play. I'm scared of my sister. And I would never lay a finger on her in a fighting way because she'd rip my head off. But I came up in the morning and her boyfriend, now husband, was like, hey man, do you remember what happened last night? And I like vaguely recalled. I'm like, yeah, it was good times, right? No big deal. He's like, yeah, no, you got your sister in a headlock. I'm like, that sounds not so bad. Pretty funny. He's like, it wasn't funny. And then I went into the other room. My sister was eating cereal. She didn't say a word to me. And I casually pulled up with a bowl of cereal too. And she just said, you're never drinking rye again. Yes, ma'am. And I haven't touched it since.
I feel the same thing about rye / whiskey in general. I
You
should.
gave your sister a headlock in the 06 Cup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's common, man.
Yep.
It's more common than you'd think.
Yeah. It was an epidemic.
Shit happens all the time.
Angry's up the blood.
Since I stopped drinking it, then we turned around and won that series, if you're
See?
worried. And wondering, rather. And then I know everything until Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I was busy that day. I didn't watch any of it. I assume we won the cup.
Of course. As far as I know, it didn't even play.
Oh, I thought you were like, we won 5 cups.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Well,
You're
that's
right.
also true. but-
Yeah. No, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Back to these bones.
Oh, yeah.
We have jumped all over the
Buddy,
place.
do you, clearly you
real
don't
life.
listen to the show. This is how we did it.
I know, but
That's how we do our
it's
business.
a whole nother trip.
But you're
when
bringing
here
a
live.
lot to the table. You know a lot. If you had
I'm
a
getting pucks
podcast,
in
I
deep.
would listen. Yeah, that's true. Yes. He's putting pucks in deep. So these bones, see. So we're doing the construction site down the street. And we get a text yesterday from our partner. And it says, we found bones. And then in caps locks, but they are not human. That's right. Yeah. So there's a photo of bones in dirt. We'll put it on the Instagram at Nation Real Life. There is a text message saying we found bones are not human, and then there's Jay like 20 minutes later sliding into the convo going, so we can just sweep this whole thing under the rug then? I come in the convo like, what are we even talking about? We found bones. Can we make them go away? What kind of business is this? It
Well,
sounds
like, because
exciting.
I'm assuming, because I'm like, those aren't dinosaur bones. Now they're not human bones. Can we just because they have to stop everything.
Yeah, no, I know.
And every day is expensive.
I respect though that your first thought when you see bones is how do we get rid of the bones? That's good.
Well,
You're versatile.
because
Good guy
of
in the room.
because of the text message and because it was used in all caps, I felt comfortable in being like, yeah, let's just get this. How do we get this going?
So our concern is that because we're digging in Riverdale, which is the bottom of the river valley. We're digging deeper than pretty much anyone in Edmonton would ever dig on a construction site. Because if it's up in downtown, you'd have to be digging like a 50-floor parquet to get this low. And who knows what you're going to find? There'd never been a basement on this land before. You could find Stonehenge. We have no idea. So fortunately, we had a guy come out from the Royal Alberta Museum, and he came out, and we walked down into the pit, and we walked right down to the bottom of the elevator shaft. It was cool. And there are these bones, and they're bison bones.
Yep.
So what this guy said was that back in the day, Riverdale was like a bison crossing. And so they would come down from like Jasper Ave zone, walk down into Riverdale, cross over by the accidental beach because it was a low point, and go into by the pyramids in Cloverdale.
I thought it could also be a buffalo jump. That's just just because it's higher and we're lower, but like
Yeah. So this motherfucking buffalo 5,000 to 8,000 years ago fell in a mud hole. And that's what they figure happened. How do they know it's 5,000 to 8,000 years ago? Because there's a layer of ash, sedentary ash. That if you're looking at like the side of like a hill, and you can see all the different layers of dirt, and that's how they track time.
Yeah.
Apparently, like 4,000 to 5,000 years ago in Edmonton, there's a very defined layer of ash.
Okay.
And so it's just below that. So he
wow,
puts it somewhere
so
between.
those are that old.
Yeah, 5,000 and 8,000. Then he goes on to tell me that it's a huge good luck charm.
Yes.
Because the bison and the buffalo for First Nations peoples, those were like providers. They didn't waste any part of the buffalo. So they would make pelts into clothes. Everything was edible. They used its hip bone as a compass. I don't know. But they could make something out of every single part of it. So to have a buffalo on our land is like a huge good luck charm.
All right.
We should get this guy on.
He didn't want to, actually. Funnily enough, because we're going to go to the Royal Alberta Museum for a tour. He's giving us a special tour.
These bones are paying off.
Secret archives
Yes.
with River Valley News. So you know this is exciting. He's got River Valley stuff that isn't available to the public. But they claim these bones are theirs. So I've already said that the pint one time made a table keg Jaeger bomb. That's a big enough mistake for one podcast. However, I'm also telling you, I'm not giving these bones back, man.
No, we
Any bone you find is immediately the
have a
property.
museum upstairs. Inside joke,
Sure
but
do.
it's true.
That's right. People paid money to see this shit. So if you get a bones or you get any of this shit, it's immediately the property of the government. I think that's bullshit.
I pay my taxes.
So what I'm supposed to do is give these to the Royal Alberta Museum. Fine people, not their problem. They will give us back a cast of these bones for free. But I don't want. I want the real bones.
Not enough. Yeah.
So I took the bones Well, I had a guy take the bones and bring him to the office and stash them here, and your Remcheck wasn't supposed to see any of this. And if you telling us the Royal Alberta Museum, oh man, I'm going to turn the volume on your headphones to 10 and then yell.
My fear now is that I'm an accomplice to some sort of crime.
It is a felony to steal bones, yes.
And now we're all on record as knowingly committing this crime and knowing it's a crime. So I can't just sit there in a court and be like, I didn't even know what was going on. You guys have made me aware of this. So now I'm kind of torn on what I should do.
And me telling on all three of you in an open forum like this, don't kid yourself, if this does go to trial, I'm flipping on the three of you, providing more information about other crimes you've committed, and I'm getting off scot-free. It's Putin-esque.
Wanye scores 8 goals.
Yeah, and then trips on the rug.
I never thought bones would sink my sports media career.
That's what it was, man.
You're wondering how it's going to all end? Here it is.
And when that buffalo fell into that water hole, they said, 8,000 years from now, you're going to totally fuck over Tyler Yaremchuk at the onset of his media career.
Mm-hmm. It's fun watching Tyler's face right now.
Yeah.
You can see it.
It's very expressive.
The wheels are turning.
Forgot to tell you, all wrestling launched. Real Life Podcast. See you next week.
Excuse me there. I just lost my train of thought.